shot of the church on the eve of the referendum. And the next morning I hitched a ride with the Indonesian police that were guarding the UN convoy that was taking ballot boxes to a small provincial voting field near Viqueque in the province of Viqueque. Actually, it was an army escort, not police. Oh, nice fellas. And all along the route, the roads were lined with people walking in from outlying areas, walking into the voting area. And this is at the voting field. There's a line of people queued up already. This is just after dawn too. And I walked to the edge of the small town and took these shots of people walking in with their best clothes on and their identification paper. For a lot of the villagers it was the first time that they'd had any form of identity, a piece of paper that identified them. And there we are at the voting field itself. Those were the voting booths to the right, and there's the crowd lining up, waiting for a chance to cast their vote. Here's a bloke, he's just been selected, he's walking up, he's going to get his papers verified and validated, and then walk down to get his ballot paper. Marching down to take probably the first vote of his life. And everybody that voted got this little die on their finger, just so that people wouldn't be able to vote twice. And there's the ballot paper. Top one is to become an autonomous region of Indonesia. The bottom one was to become an independent nation. There's a fella putting his vote in. Happy with that. If only people were this interested in politics in Australia. And there behind the voting field, on the top of the hill that overlooked the valley, was an Indonesian army encampment. A man and a dog. It's quite funny, there's a dog barks soon next to me, but it looks for all the world like it's the dog on the hill, but of course you can't hear that. I went for a walk up there, and it's funny, the guy didn't want me approaching with the camera. It's funny how army people don't want you to film their installations. And then turned around, and there's the voting field from up on the hilltops. So to the right are the people waiting, and to the left are the people lining up to get their ballot papers. As the morning passed, the crowds grew and grew. Oh, and here's some pro-Indonesian kind of guys. There was a guy called Bob Marley and another one called Jimi Hendrix. I'm not sure. Those are the two guys. I'm not sure which one's which, but they are the pro-independence leaders of their local area. These guys were standing just outside where the people put their ballot boxes in, trying to look mean. But I think they're a bit outnumbered today. Wow. And then down in the town, away from the voting field, there were the police and the army just hanging out. And on the outskirts of town, the people who had voted were making their way out, and that was the most dangerous time for them. See guys carrying spears there for self-defence. I mean, not much good against guns, but the militia wouldn't take them on without guns, at least. And Trevor and I escorted a guy out who was well-known pro-independence. That guy there with the brown bag. He was a well-known pro-independence guy, and he was very afraid, so he asked us if we'd walk with him to the edge of town, so we happily did that. And saw him off. Trevor, where are those people on the riverbed going?
So here we have people that have gone to vote. Now they're trying to find a way out of town. Some of them are trying to return to maybe where they came from, the transmigration area, which is about 20 kilometers out.
Orang tua-tua yang dari Matolo itu langsung ke town. Orang tua-tua yang dari Matolo itu langsung ke town.
And here's a bunch of people who help United Nations with the voting. We're very happy at the end of the day, and here's the voting field right at the end of the day with no one there. Everyone has voted and gone home. Yeah, listen to this. That guy to the left.
They're afraid of militia and being afraid of getting killed.
He was the guy in charge of the voting there on that field for the UN. He was trying to get the police to come and escort the people who assisted in the voting out of town because they were very worried they'd be attacked on the way out. As it was, it turned out to be quite peaceful. The actual day, anyway. And so that was the day. The vote was successfully cast, and it all went very well. The next instalment in this little presentation and video is a trip I made from Viqueque up to Delhi about 2 days later on the 3rd of August, and then a few shots from the house in Delhi that was rented by the Australian East Timor's International Volunteers Project. See you then.